Chapter 7. Now, before we proceed to explain the detailed knowledge of the chaining down of the worlds, Shaar HaYichud, we must preface with a matter which was mentioned previously in Chapter 4. This specifically refers to the connection of the particulars to the general principle. As known to those who delve into the Zohar and other authentic texts of Kabbalah, in studying the Hishtalshalut and the investment of the Partsufim, it is necessary for each person to know the explanation of the Seder Hishtalshalut, the chaining down of the worlds in short form. Beginning with the simple unity at the beginning of all things, until the end of all things, which is at the end of our lowly world, it is all literally bound with one knot. This is similar to a chain which goes from beginning to end and chains down from cause to cause, etc. The first light of the simple unity, which is known as the cause of all causes, is also called first or preceding, as stated, I am first and I am last. I am first refers to Malchut of Ein Sof, the infinite, after the first Tzimtzum, which is known as the empty place. I am last at the end of everything is the aspect of Malchut of Asiyah, which is the source of existence of this lowly world. The beginning is bound to the end, and the end to the beginning. They are literally as one, like a chain whose lowest link is bound to its highest link. This is the meaning of the verse, see now that I am He, without any change at all from beginning to end. Now, although it is known that there are a multitude of particular details in the chaining down from beginning to end, the entire purpose of man is the contemplation of all the particular details from beginning to end, to bind them all into one general unity with the simple unity, which is called first. This is as stated, see now that I am He, literally, and as stated, I Hashem have not changed. This is the pivotal point upon which the contemplation of the particulars must be founded, so that all the particulars are drawn to this general principle, as previously explained. Now, the explanation of this matter for beginners is as follows. The order of the multitude of details of the chaining down of the line and thread, kav v'chut, which is drawn out after the first tzimtzum, restraint, is known briefly as follows. At first, before the first tzimtzum, there was He and His name alone. This refers to the essential self of the Unlimited One, blessed be He, Atzmut Ein Sof, and His light and ray, which is called His name. It was all in the aspect of His essential self, literally in an aspect of infinity, and He filled all empty space. Afterward, He made a restraint, tzimtzum, within Himself, and there remained an aspect of an impression, rishimu, of what was withdrawn within this empty space. From this impression He drew out the line and thread, kav v'chut, in an aspect of both encompassing and inner lights. The infinite light before the restraint, tzimtzum, is called the upper purity, while the general encompassing light of this line, kav, at its beginning, is called the lower purity, as known. Afterwards, through a tzimtzum, restraint, malchut of the infinite was drawn down to become keter of Adam Kadmon. Then from malchut of Adam Kadmon there came keter of Atik Yomin and Arich Anpin. From malchut of Arich Anpin there came keter of Abba and Ima. From malchut of Abba and Ima there came keter of Ze'er Anpin, and likewise from Ze'er Anpin to Nukva, until malchut of Atzilut there came keter of Bria. In this manner there was a chaining down from Bria to Yitzirah, and from Yitzirah to Asiyah, until the aspect of Malchut of Asiyah, which is the end of everything. We find that the end of everything, which is Malchut of Asiyah, is bound with the beginning of everything, which is the aspect of Malchut of the infinite, Ein Sof, which diminished to become Keter of Adam Kadmon. This is as stated in the beginning of Etz Chaim in the Shaar HaKlalim, and in the meaning of I am first and I am last, as previously explained. In contrast, the aspect of the essential self of the infinite light before the Tzimtzum cannot yet be called by the terms beginning or end, since it is still an aspect of the light of His essential self as it is before being drawn down to influence below. This is as stated, you are holy and your name is holy, as is known. Now, after one contemplates the particulars, the unification comes about. through the thorough contemplation of all the particulars of the chaining down from the beginning of all things, which is Malchut of the infinite, until Malchut of Asiyah specifically, they should then all be drawn to the first source, which is the aspect of the essential self of the infinite light before the Tzimtzum. This is the general intention of the first verse of the Shema recital, which is the upper unity. In other words, "Hear, O Israel, Hashem our God, Hashem is one," refers to his simple unity before the first Tzimtzum. About this it states in Sefer Yetzirah, "Before one, what can you count?" This is to say that Hashem is higher than the 10 Sfirot. This is as stated, "You are one, but not in enumeration of 10 Sfirot," as known. However, the general intent of "Blessed be the glorious name of his kingship forever," which is the lower unity, is the aspect of Malchut of the infinite after the Tzimtzum. About this it states, "Your kingdom is the kingdom of all worlds, until Malchut, kingdom of Asiyah." This is the aforementioned matter of "I am first and I am last." Now, this entire unification and binding from the beginning to the end, which follows the contemplation of the multitude of intermediary particulars, is only like a single detail in comparison to the general principle which includes them all. This general principle is the aspect of the general encompassment of the circle igul, which encompasses the line kav. Moreover, it too is considered to only be a detail in comparison to the essential self of the infinite light before the Tzimtzum, which is called the upper purity. This upper purity is even higher than being an aspect of a general principle for particular details, since we have already stated that he is holy and removed in the aspect of his essential self. This is the explanation of the statement, "the singular one, life of the worlds." From this aspect of Yachid, singular, influence is drawn down by means of the aforementioned first Tzimtzum to become what is called the life of the worlds of Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah and Asiyah, which are within the Kav line in an encompassing and pervading manner as known. This will suffice those of understanding. It is necessary for a person to know and implant in his soul all the explanations of the chaining down of the worlds. After the explanations of all the particular details in the order of the chaining down have been understood by a person, then he should constantly accustom himself throughout his life to contemplate them in his mind and heart, so that he will be proficient in all the details specifically. Through this, he will be capable of making a summation of the entire length, including the entirety of it from beginning to end as one. This should be done to such a degree that in a single moment of contemplation within his soul, when he contemplates the end of everything, which is the comprehension of physical creation of something out of nothing, i.e. the creation of the physical planets and the 4 physical elements and all the other particulars of this lowly world, he will see that there rests upon them the aspect of Malchut of the infinite, literally. This is as stated, "Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who has created these." Lift up your eyes on high, with an actual physical sight, and behold who has created these, into a completely physical something, through the most final Tzimtzum restraint. It is literally in this end of everything, where Malchut of the infinite, which is the beginning of everything, and is even higher than the source of Atzilut, rests in an infinite aspect specifically. For this reason, the book of Psalms only mentions the greatness of Hashem in a simple manner as it pertains to the greatness and wondrousness of the acts of Hashem in the physical heavens and the earth, and its physical hosts specifically. It makes no mention or praise of his greatness as it pertains to the upper spiritual worlds and the highest heights which precede even the world of Atzilut. This is because, as previously mentioned, the beginning is specifically bound to the end. This is also as stated, "See now that I am He," and that the essential self of the infinite light is what encompasses all existence. This will suffice for those of understanding. This, then, is the true intent in the contemplation of the particulars as previously explained. Even though, according to the calculation of the multitude of details in the chaining down of the worlds, there is a very vast distance between the beginning and the end, nonetheless, in truth, it is very close, without any interruption and concealment in between. This is as stated, "See now that I am He, and there is no other besides me," as an intermediary. This will suffice for those of understanding. This is likewise as stated, Lo, this only I have found, that God has made man upright, but they have sought out many calculations. That God has made man upright refers to primordial man, Adam Kadmon, from the beginning of the line, Kav, until the heel of primordial man, Adam Kadmon, which concludes at the end of the world of Asiya. It is also one complete matter from beginning to end. However, they have sought out many calculations refers to the aspect of circles, igulim, with separations and divisions one above the other. All of the above may be understood in a very brief way from the aspect of the ktarim of each world. In the aspect of the ktarim, there is no aspect of chaining down from cause to effect in a way of distance in levels at all. For example, the aspect of the simple desire in the essential self of the infinite light, as stated, when it arose in his simple desire, that is, the aspect of Malchut of the infinite himself, is what rose in his simple thought, as in the statement, I shall rule, which is much higher than the desire to emanate, Atzilut, or to create, Bria, etc. Those desires are still only an aspect of the Heyuli. From this first simple desire, there is a tzimtzum, diminishment to the primal desire, which is called Keter of Adam Kadmon. Afterwards, there came the desire to emanate, which in general is the aspect of Keter of Atzilut. Afterwards was the desire to create, which is Keter of Malchut of Bria, following which there came Keter of Malchut of Yetzirah, until the aspect of Keter Malchut of Asiya, which is the desire to actualize. This is as stated, whatever Hashem desires he did. Similarly, below in man, what difference is there between the aspect of his desire and essential Heyuli, in which there were included 4 desires? For example, the desire for his essential self and his most final desire to actualize all come from and are rooted in one source. Likewise, there is no difference between his simple desire which was drawn down to become the desire for emanation and his simple desire which was drawn down to become the aspect of whatever Hashem desires he did at the end of our world of action. This will suffice for those of understanding.